Hi guys, Jeff here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Before we get started, if you'd like to subscribe to get more of this amazing content, obviously, then please, have a look down here at the subscribe button. Might be over there. I don't know, wherever it is. Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much for joining us today, and we're going to be looking at one of my new libraries. How cool. So that's the Kalimba Plus. You might have seen that I released it the other week, and unlike other libraries that you might be able to get for the Kalimba, this one is completely natural samples. So which is really cool, because you see a lot of free libraries out there for Kalimba, and they don't quite have that real natural sound. So yeah, this one's been really sampled quite heavily in terms of just finding the right sample, because there's a noise ratio. So I've got the Kalimba in question here that I used, and if you listen, there is actually a noise ratio there. Just naturally, they are made on top of a piece of wood that is on top of a wire that is then screwed on. So you get a buzz with them, and it's the buzz we don't want. We want a little bit of it because it gives it the flavour, but yeah, we don't want too much of that. So a lot of people, they'll use a little bit of a sample and then they'll mix that with an artificial sound, whereas I had about 300 different samples that I chopped up and found the best ones and made a few velocity layers and compiled them and put them all into a cool little instrument. Okay, so let's get straight into Logic, shall we? And I've got some new scenes here as well, so we can see that everything looks really nice and more me. I just wanted it to look like my channel really, and not somebody else's. So let me know in the description as well if you like these new overlays that I'm using, because I want to make you happy as much as I want to feel comfortable, and make things look like my channel. So yeah, let's have a look at the Kalimba Plus. So as you can see, there is reverb, delay, cutoff, and distortion. All the typical things that you probably find in my other libraries, but with these ones, they're more subtle. They're used to just slightly manipulate the sound, because I've tried to EQ this so it will sit in 99.9% of your mixes. Okay, so you'll find that there's not too much low-end rumble, the mid-range is really tame, and the highs aren't too high. Yeah, especially with this cutoff here. So I've got the cutoff quite low, but this cutoff in particular is quite a gentle slope. So even when you've got it all the way down, it's just going to take off a little bit of that harshness. Yeah, so it's not going to take off too much. The delay, you've got the time as well that you can manipulate there, and the reverb is just a nice long reverb if you want to use it. But we're using the reverb and the cutoff at the same time. That's what they would use in any professional track, just to pull back the instrument a little bit. So if you just bring the cutoff down and add more reverb, that's going to give the illusion that your instrument is going to be pulled back. Okay, and the distortion is just it's quite a gritty distortion, but I've included the brilliance knob as well, because what you might want to do is use the cutoff to take those highs out, but then you might still want that brilliance. So you can use the distortion as well and add that brilliance in to add some of those extra harmonics that you might want between 2 and 4K, because the cutoff is only really going to take off everything over 5K, so it'll just make the sound thicker as well, because you'll be adding a lot of harmonics to other frequencies as well, but the top end should stay very full with that. So that's the overview of the Kalimba, and I just want to let you listen to the track again, because you might not have seen the other video. So here we go. Okay, so as you can hear there, nice full track. I've used Kalimbas, I've got a bass instrument which is going to be It's a nice synthy, droney bass that's coming through from a library that I'll be releasing hopefully next month. Depends if I get all of the tracks finished, because there's a lot of stuff that's going into that I'm really excited about. I'll let you listen to that track as well on its own, so you can hear what type of sound that is. It's very, very dynamic. I'm trying to make them as dynamic as possible and approaching, you know, even though it's a synthetic sound, I want it to react as if it was a real sound as well. So, you know, you'll be able to use your mod wheel as well to bring up expression, which is quite cool. And the drums are the only thing in this that I didn't make. And they're from what I got with Contact 11, which is some bongos and a nice cajon. I've actually got a cajon down here, but this sounded really good. And I think I only had about an hour to make this track before uploading it, so I needed something that was going to work really well. So let's just look at the kalimba first, shall we? We've got the kalimba up. We've got 4 different types of kalimba here. The first two, kalimba 1 and 2, is exactly the number 1 preset in there, which is just the kalimba plus. The only difference between these two sounds is that one has the cutoff on it and one doesn't, which is going to give you a little bit more of a stereo field, yeah, because I've had them panned one left and right. And even though I've got 4 of them, you can see 2 of them are hard pan as well. So what we'll do is we'll just solo kalimba 1 and 2. I'm just going to play it from the end, just the last little bit. You can hear how wide it is, and you'll hear in both your left and your right ears how these parts are playing against each other. Yeah, so some nice delay in there as well. And then the other ones, they are doing a little bit different things really. These are just from the other presets. So if I have a look at the distort, you will see that the brilliance is all the way up, the distortion is on. The thing about what I've done here as well is if you click the distortion on like that and you see the light, then it's off. So that's just something to know. That's just something that I like. If you don't like it, let me know. I'll change it if there's enough of you who say, you know, because at the end of the day, this is for you. Okay, so there's that one, and then the delay, the time is at 55.2, so it's like a slapback delay. Yeah, at that, anything under 70 really milliseconds is a very, very quick delay, but it's slow enough that you'll hear it, so that's why they call it slapback. They sound really, really cool, and they just add in more of that stereo field in there. All of them together sound like this. Yeah, so that is the Kalimba Plus. I could stop the video here, but I'm going to show you the others anyway because, you know, fun. So we can see that I've got violin swells in here as well, and all I've done is I put the API 558 by Waves on there. I think I'm just using the bass preset. It's just a pad. You've heard violin swells before. Sounds really lush and big. Without the Abbey Road, this is where it sounds like. Yeah, that was the violin swells. Sorry if you heard my computer just basically dying for a second there. I'm doing a lot of processing at the moment with screen grabbing and all these magic things. Okay, now the bass. So let's take a little listen at this. Yeah, so there's lots of movement there, and if I was just to, if I was to open the Contact 5, this is all you're going to see. Okay, it's in development. I think that's what they say, isn't it? When when you haven't finished something and you're too excited to keep it to yourself. Okay, so let's take a little listen to these drums. Yeah, so there's a congo, no, there is a bongo, not a congo, bongo, and there is a cajon. So you will hear the cajon is here on the hit, well, they're all called hits. I don't know why. Probably just duplicated it because they're all from the same library. And the bongos are here. And I think that's the second bongo that I'm using a different type of sound for. So here it is. Okay, so you can hear there I've got like 2 different sounds as well there for the bongos, and I've used the Abbey Roads on the first initial part of it, and in the second one I've made it more of a dry sound just to bring those bongos a little bit forward, because you know, because it's the climax. I'm building and I'm building and I'm building. Then what you want to do is you want to just create a sense of space and movement as you're going through. So the way I do that is I will have one instance of an instrument for most of the track, and then when I really want to hit it home, I make the track drier. Yeah, so if I want that to be center of attention, then, you know, or a little bit more of a center of attention, then I'm going to make it drier. I did exactly the same with the Kalimbas, and then to push back the bass and the violin swells, I added more reverb. So I done the opposite as the track went through. Okay, yeah, so that's everything. And the risers, you've seen, if you've seen how I make my risers, there's a video on that. So yeah, go and have a look at that. And yeah, it's been fantastic to make this video for you guys. Yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed this. And if you like the library, please, you know, help me out. I think I've got it on sale still for £7, so it's still really, really affordable. It took me a long time to make, which is why I can't make it for free. But there'll be other free ones as well that come out. But if you'd like to support me with that, then that's fantastic. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely week, and see you later.